all
Dude,
good.
so are you home for Christmas? You're not going back. You're not going back out on the road.
If I told you, you wouldn't believe me, but I'm going to Florida on Monday.
Oh God, you got to be kidding!
My mom's 80. She lives there.
Oh, okay.
And we haven't spent several Christmases in a row with her. So we had made a promise to her much earlier this year to spend Christmas with her as a family. So but I'm going to be with my whole crew. So
that's it. Well,
I will be with the people I want to be with, but it does involve another TSA security line or two. But that's all right. No worries. So yeah, we're out there for the holiday and then here through the new year, and then it's January. And then I'm heading to Indy. So
man, I'm telling you what, that is some stuff crisscrossing the country back and forth. And not that I have lived in California, but I've done enough business in California to know that it's a bit of a deal to go from California to the Midwest and do all that. It can be challenging.
Yeah, the Monday mornings meetings or the Monday midday meetings are tough because you got to leave Sundays. Otherwise, I'll be honest with you, maybe it's like anything, you get used to it, what your circumstance is. I don't mind it. In fact, to some extent, if I am here working, I get up early, but by 3:00, 3:30, everything's pretty quiet. And then I've got an afternoon. There's pros and cons like anything.
That's a positive. That's a huge positive. Everybody goes.
And I'm not going to lie. I walked my dog before this call, and I did it in a pair of shorts. So, you sort of take the good with the bad. I'm not going to cry about it. That's for sure.
Well, it's going to be 70 here and on Christmas Day.
Oh, you're down in Fayetteville? That's awesome. That's all I kind of want, a little cold. But I don't know.
Well, it's been cold enough here, but I just of course, the other thing is everything's dead. There's no leaves. Everything's brown.
Yeah, right.
That's the other downside.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. No, I like it. I actually do like it. I thought at first I would be really worried about it, but now almost 5 years into this, what I like about it is my wife's where she wants to be with her family, and I'm able to go and travel and be very focused on work. And as we've gotten much bigger, there's a lot of places I need to visit all at once, and it allows me to do that without any encumbrance. So it's I don't know, man. It's I guess maybe I'm messed up, but I really enjoy the work. So I guess it doesn't feel like a grind to me, at least not yet.
Well, you know what they say: happy wife, happy life.
Indeed.
And then a good friend of mine named Michael Routh in Collierville, Tennessee, said when we were wishing a young person in our group a happy wedding day, he said, "Just remember, you can be right or happy."
That's right. That's good advice to anybody.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've chosen to be right too much.
Well,
Catherine, I think James has chosen to be happy, hadn't he?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Matt sounds like
she's got him trained.
Yeah. I'd be like, I want you to see her. I'd be like, yes, ma'am.
I'd like to think so. There are moments, but yeah, we've been married 17 years. We're starting to get it sorted out.
That's awesome.
Only took a decade and a half.
Well, we're about to celebrate 4 decades.
Amazing.
In January, and it's like, yeah, okay, how many more ways can I screw up? But no, we'll get there eventually.
Nah.
Play the thing.
Playing the thing. And we're back.
Play the thing.
You know what? It has been a freaking year, Matt Dannenfeldt. We have Matt Dannenfeldt from Seedbox Solutions on with us, and thrilled to do it to talk about some of the new innovations that are coming on with Seedbox. Beyond talking about marriage and all the things that, I do wrong and everybody else does right. Dude, it was a year ago. You were our last StalkTalk before Christmas and everything 1 year ago. Happy anniversary.
I know. I was actually, yes, it was 1 year ago. And at the end of that, we donned the Christmas hat and we did like a little, me and Kat played a little movie trivia. And we all agreed that, Home Alone was better than another movie I can't even remember. But yes, that's been 1 year. I don't know what a year went. It was fast though.
Well, I do tell you, this is two in a row. That makes a thing. So just plan next year. We'll be doing this again.
If I get to know going into each year that I get to wrap the season, like the last, like the holiday guy, oh, this could get, and I know you're obviously the Santa Christmas affiliation love you have, I would be honored. So if you want to you
It's
plug me in until you throw me out, I'm in. Sounds good to me.
I declare this to be a thing.
I love
Ho,
it.
ho, ho.
Love it.
Click.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, wait. I can make it official. I have the IPSA gavel.
Oh, God. That's super official. That's exciting.
Well, you almost got a treat this morning. I know Catherine was surprised to see me this way because we decided not to do the thing. I was trying to figure out if I could go and surprise my granddaughter at her school in like an hour. And so I was figuring the only way I can do that is to be in full character right now. So you almost got full ho, ho, ho. Yeah, but
that would have been, well, something to look forward to.
It'd been shocking.
Next year, I guess.
So the thing came out that my granddaughter's mom and I kept talking back and forth. What's going to work? What to do this and everything. And we decided, okay, why am I doing this? Because I'm going to end up seeing like 200 kids. I'm going to see Emily for like this much at a distance. And I said, no, wait a minute. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this for Emily or am I doing this for the school? Well, if I was doing it for the school, I need more than 5 minutes per classroom. So I said, we'll do
decided not to. Yeah.
More time. It was going to be crazy anyway. So there you go.
Well, that's fun. Oh, somebody's excited.
That's in Catherine's house. That's not mine at this moment.
I'm just going to mute myself real quick because apparently I'm getting
Santa's on the roof. Santa's on the roof at Kat's house.
On the roof.
You gotta love the joy of working from home. What are we talking about this morning, Mr.
Man, we're talking about the innovations that y'all are doing at Seedbox. And I mean, dude, I got to tell you, we talked about this kind of as a precursor to some of the things that y'all were going to do last year about being able to track boxes and being able to give more information in on, the condition of the seed in the box or the condition of the box. And then y'all have rolled this new tool out. And we got a chance to see it when we were at AFSA a couple of weeks ago, up close and in person with you. And I know this is a second company that you've acquired and tasked to do some of this. And first off, it's cool technology, but even more than that, I mean, the entrepreneurial spirit that you have to continue to kind of see a need grow and then expand a marketplace, I think is an unbelievably cool story. But let's talk about Seedbox and what y'all got going on, because I think it's a very new, innovative, and unique in the marketplace.
I would love to. I was thinking about this, and I did actually just sort of quickly preview our discussion from 1 year ago, as we were talking about. And I found myself thinking, we were talking about this thing we were working on, and how many times do we have someone who's like, oh yeah, we're going to work on this and work on that, and then we actually went ahead and did the thing we said we were going to do, which is exciting and seemingly normal, but not always how things go.
Not always how things work out. It's like, hey, we're working on this thing and we're doing this and this, and you never hear about it.
Right. And then you never hear about it again. Yeah. So we did the thing we said we were going to do, speaking of things. And so we've dubbed this Box IQ. The acquisition you're talking about, the separate company, what we did and what we found over a couple of years was we couldn't, in our opinions, successfully outsource the bespoke solution we really felt a Seedbox needed. It needed to be so sort of functionally designed, very centric to a box, that we couldn't get an outside firm, at least not in the context of focusing it, developing it, and ultimately delivering it. So we went ahead and found an engineering group that we'd been working with and then ultimately acquired, and have brought that engineering team into Seedbox Solution as an internal part of our development team. So I say all that to say we have this Box IQ solution, and essentially it's a very simple, elegant solution that can affix to any Seedbox, whether it's the Gen 1, or the Gen 250, or whether it's a rental box, or whether it's owned by the producer directly or whomever. And then for a relatively not, we feel a very nominal yearly subscription, there's all this very insightful data and a nice app that the user gets that can obviously help them, substantially improve the efficiency of their box supply chain. And that is out now to the tune of like 15,000 boxes. We have 15,000 boxes today in the trade that have seed in it, as we're sitting here talking in the 18th of December. And then next year we've got line of sight to get that number close to 100,000. So
it's just cooler than heck. So let me ask you a question. You're
please.
sitting at home, California. Do you have one with you?
I do. Almost always.
You did. Let's show it. I knew you did.
That could have gone awry on a podcast. I mean, this is not choreographed, but
no, that's the best.
I'm not sure how.
That's all it is that's so small. It's so powerful for being in such a small little package.
So yeah, and what you can't see here is I'd say what's even more interesting, and if you let me nerd out, I'm gonna. So
no,
you gotta have to show me some restraint. What's really interesting about this is it's fully encapsulated, which is to say there's not a wire, there's not an input output, there's not a sensor, that connects to some other part of the box. Like, this is it. But more interesting, if you wanted 100 of these. Oh, the dog is stoked. I can't tell you how upset.
Look at that face. I bet
Cat's gonna give
moments that she is like, I'm gonna kill him.
Somebody. Oh man,
that's awesome.
If in 1,000 worth 1,000 words, just the eyes, really, which I appreciate.
Oh,
so good.
Sorry,
great. Anyway,
it's totally encapsulated. No input, output, none of that.
I could do this all day, so don't worry about it. All kidding aside, so here's what's cool. It fixes on. If anyone's listening to this and they've still stuck with us into this, the first 5 minutes of this, and they presumably know what a seed box is. It affixes to the gate in such a way you don't even really see it. It's designed to specifically fit right into the pocket of a slide gate. And then what we do is we can take the full assembly with this device on a gate. So if you wanted to make your box a Box IQ outfitted box, you take the old gate out, you put the new gate in that has this attached to it, and you are in business. That's it. It takes 2 seconds.
So one of the things that I noticed when we were together in Orlando and I saw that thing, in a world where it's about this size. It is about
that's right.
Size. And of course, this is my HP 17B 2 Plus calculator that is made
almost the same technology. I mean, I can see that when I look at it.
But completely different, because when I saw the Box IQ piece, super heavy duty, encapsulated metal, very tough. Whereas, I dropped this and it doesn't work and I'm replacing it. The Box IQ really designed to last, be durable, I hate to say it this way because you don't want your boxes abused, but to take abuse from grain moving in and out of it. I mean, it's something that clearly you see and you feel and you say, this thing is designed to last. This is not some cheap knockoff.
I will tell you that I'd say the reason. So a few of our clients that are now on the platform, they teed this up against a few other pretty well-known technology companies that design like omni tracking solutions for like fleet management and other things. We know these kinds of systems are out there. And I mean, I'll just tell you what they told us, which is this just one going away. And I think in many ways, it's in large part about what you're saying, which is to say we intimately know the seed box space. Now, if we went and had to compete against that company to outfit a fleet of trucks, maybe that's not where we play best. But what we've been able to do is take that intimate knowledge of the supply chain, because it's not just right? It's not just getting the monitoring on the box, but it's also understanding how do these boxes get serviced? What happens if one does get damaged? How are you going to take that out of service and get the box readied for the next year? And not just doing it, but doing it efficiently to a scalable level, right? It's all well and good if you're doing a trial, but those things don't last when you're talking about hundreds of thousands or even millions of boxes in North America. And I think those are the kinds of things I think our sort of placement in the supply chain, holistically allowed us to get there. So, like I said, we've got 15,000 boxes outfitted across 5 early adoptive users, some of whom rent boxes from us and are receiving the technology as a result. A few other producers are using it, several thousand on a portion of their fleet that they own and they operate themselves. But the economics I think it's very clear and super simple economics to understand. And I think that's why we're seeing a real quick desire to, at the very least, make sure they understand it and are trial using it for a couple of years. And then I think we're obviously very hopeful to see expansion in the next several seasons. So we're expecting 100,000 next year. That could grow just in the next few months because of some feedback we're already getting. And we definitely see an opportunity where there'll be hundreds of thousands of these boxes outfitted. And if I could be so bullish as to say, we feel like it's a differentiator to the extent where if you have a box fleet and you aren't using this technology a few years down the road, you're at doesn't mean you can't be successful, but I would say you are operating without the latest and greatest tools to be the maximally successful. So,
yeah, I got to tell you, one of the things that hit me when we were talking about this. I mean, I think initially, and I'll be honest with you, initially when we talked about this a year ago, I was a little bit, yeah, that's cool, but okay, is it really going to make a big difference for folks? And then we talked about something like inventory management. And I mean, there's lots of cool stuff, but I want to talk about inventory management for a few minutes because we had this conversation, and Matt, it was funny. And, you talk about things that kind of coalesce together. I've had a lot of conversations as of late about the challenges that seed companies have managing inventory. And look, nothing is worse for a seed company than having excess inventory and trying to manage that, even into obsolescence with corn, where, if you've got corn that's treated, well, got to tell you, you're going to have to find some way to incinerate that or to dispose of it properly and everything. And that's a challenge. And then there can be cost to disposal on top of cost of production. And it's a loser. Inventory, bad inventory management can kill a seed company quickly. And what you do with this is you actually know where your boxes are all the time. If they've got seed in them, if you've got, what product is in those boxes. It enables you to really move that inventory, maximize that inventory use rather than having it sit dead in the farmer's warehouse somewhere that he's not utilizing and you need something somewhere else and you have to go figure out how to get more seed. You can literally pick up the phone and say, "Are you done? We're going to pick up the box." Or it enables a new level of inventory management at a real granular basis. And I was very impressed with that. And that's not, you're talking about others in the space and technology. Well, part of this thing here is y'all developed a software package that will enable this inventory management and really flow through. That's pretty intuitive and easy.
It's
Correct?
very easy. Yes. It's a great summary. You're right. So I'd say we'll get to the other part of the value prop. I'd say if you really want to make it super simple, there's the front end inventory visibility value, which you just highlighted, but let me get into that a little more. So here's the simple math. And this is well known, depending on who, and of course, every producer and everybody's got a little bit of their nuanced supply chain of how they produce, bag, and ultimately get seed down to their farmer customer. But in general, we know as an industry, that anywhere from high teens up to maybe 15%, and I'm not talking about seed that's produced. I'm talking about seed that's actually bagged, boxed, and or bagged, and sent to the market. And ultimately that 10 to 15% of that's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's a soybean or a corn, it's coming back. And that's a well-known data point. So simple math, and I can get into this, but I know it's a podcast, so math doesn't translate too well, but it's very straightforward. The cost of outfitting, if you have 1,000 boxes, pick your commodity. If you have all of them outfitted with this technology and you're paying for that subscription for that data, the ability to know where that inventory is at all times as it matriculates through the supply chain, to also know when or if it gets emptied. So you know where the inventory of the product is by product, but you also know, okay, now that one's empty, but that one's still full. If you can use, and I'll get into how we envision this being used and how our early adoptive clients are using it. If you sell 5 more boxes of corn than you otherwise would have, so on that 1,000 box example, 150 of them are coming back.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of the data. If you sell 5 more, you've paid for the entire in 1 year. And that's just on the sell-through. That doesn't incorporate other factors that are savings. That's just that one metric. In soybeans, maybe it's more like 15 because we all know what the difference of what that sale value is. But nevertheless, it's not a big number. You don't have to make a big move. So what we're seeing, and so I just had a conversation yesterday with one of our early adoptive clients, and they shared with me privately, they're already having meetings with some of their dealer network, and there's already talk / concern of product hoarding or stockpiling, maybe is a nicer word. This is commonplace. This isn't anybody's doing anything wrong.
Very commonplace. Yeah.
So what we have developed and what's coming out is a tool called Box Trader. So if you're local to a region and you're a dealer or a retailer, you'll have line of sight on your inventory, and then you can do a quick radial search to see what other folks in your area, and you can change that radius. Maybe you do 25 miles. That's not what I'm looking for. Maybe you do 50, maybe you do 75, and you'll get an immediate tag on, okay, that gentleman 4 counties away has 3 of the boxes I'm looking for. Rather than me go back to my producer and have them run new inventory to me because I'm out, I'm going to request a trade from that dealer a few counties away. I can then basically arbitrage getting that box moved to me. So the producer at the highest level saves freight. They don't run the box all the way out. And more importantly, it nibbles into that utilization number we talked about. Now they're not running surplus inventory to the guy who's out. Meanwhile, they find out 90 days later, the guy that had 3 boxes all along, he ended up sending them back because they didn't sell.
Right.
So it's just that very simple management. And we're not just saying, here's the data, go figure it out. We're building this Box Trader tool, and we're basically pushing it out to the entire network in terms of the retail side. So those folks can start to look at, where is that inventory? Who has what I need? Oh, you have what I need. And by the way, if I've got something that I know I'm not going to sell, I can do it in reverse. I can actually put it out on the Box Trader platform that says, hey, I've got 3 of these boxes. Does anybody need them? Does anybody want them? So, you don't know exactly how all those scenarios are going to play themselves out. But what you do know is, by virtue of people, ultimately, you're just trying to get the right product to your customer in a very time critical window. This gives them a tool to do that. And that's just on the front end before seed even gets to the ground. There's all kinds of value beyond that.
Well, and that's the cool part. I got to tell you, back in 2016, 2017, I went over to Mershman Seeds, and I was really impressed with how Joe Mershman was managing their inventory in and out, because they send so much out to so many different people. And man, they were using, at that time, everybody had scanners on or scanner guns on their belts, and they'd shoot up, so they knew exactly everything moving in and out, which handles one side of the inventory. But this is that piece where, just what you mentioned, rumors about a hybrid or short, or something, a variety short, and there is over ordering that happens because people want to make sure they can supply their customers without regard to inventory, because dealers can send inventory back. And then it's that whole piece of how you can end up moving that inventory around and really look and seeing where that inventory is and making the questions. Hey, look, we need this inventory someplace else. Are you going to sell it? Well, I think I'm going to sell it. You need to make a decision because it ain't coming back if you're not selling it. Hate to be that hardcore, but I mean,
No, well,
enables you
it's
to
not
do
it's
things.
not hardcore. I mean, I don't think it needs to be heavy handed. I guess you have to assume almost every stakeholder in the supply chain, from the producer all the way down to the farm, they want to be more efficient. They want to get the right product to the right person. I mean, yes, there'll be some instances where someone's like, man, I don't want to give that to you. I think I might sell it tomorrow. Okay. But I think the other part of this box trader platform is it's going to show you so you can get a request to trade. And if you can deny that request,
Right.
right? You can say no. Well, now you're going to have a log of how many times did you deny that request. So if you deny, and then you send that product back, we got to sit down and sort of suss this
We
out. It
got to have
doesn't
it
mean
all.
penal. That's right. And I think it's not about making every decision punitive. It's about making people more intelligent in terms of how they're running their business. That's all. The other thing that I think it's cool, especially at the retailer level, is boxes go out to all your farmer customers. You'll start getting during that planting season, and we all know when it starts, right? We're all down at Casey's. We all know when the planting starts. We know. So what you should start seeing is boxes are emptying. Bing, bing, bing. And you're seeing on your app every day, like my inventory that's out at all these 50
It's going
farms,
down.
empty. And guess what happened? If it's not going down, dude, I know they started planting. What's he putting in the ground? Because it's not my stuff. Now you can have a conversation with that farmer, right? So what does that mean? Maybe there's a reason, but you find out you're not waking up at the end of the season and learning things. You're able to manage your business in real time. So the real exciting stuff for us, at least in my opinion, on the supply chain management piece, it's the closer we get to planting with each passing day, the value prop goes up. And so it'll be a really fun and frankly insightful season as we get into starting here in March, a little further south, and all the way up into May. As we start putting boxes and seed in the ground, I think seeing how these tools are being used in real time this year will be really, really cool. So
So
yeah.
so beyond that's a super cool piece for me. I think it's incredibly important for everybody that's out there because I got to tell you, I hear more conversations about inventory and people worrying about inventory, and then especially when corn inventory sits one year, you got a lot more challenges with it the next. What are the other pieces that you're going to be able to get from a data standpoint with Box IQ?
Yeah. So, yeah, the other pieces are, I guess I'll say, let's stick with the producer side. Number one, you're going to know what ultimately didn't sell. Despite all those tools we just talked about, there's going to be some boxes that go out and ultimately will come back. You can assess what that full inventory looks like in real time, long before they ever start showing back up at your return locations, whether that's a third party DC or your own production plant or whatever that may be. Right. So if you're on the finance side and you're trying to figure out how to accrue and assess for what didn't sell, you're not guessing, at least on the box side. Now we're going to get there on bags, by the way. This is the beginnings of a holistic solution from our perspective. I know our name is Seedbox Solution, so maybe we're going to have to reconstitute a name because we're focused on all the units of seed, which we recognize still go out. A lot of units go out in mini bulk bags and so forth. So you have to, it's like any new technology. You can't bring everything all at once. You'll see in the next season or two an iteration that allows the same kind of visibility and solution for any unit, no matter what package it's in. But I digress. So now you know what that full inventory is. That's on the one hand. And then there's a whole quality control piece. So that's the other side of the house. I don't want to say no one wants to talk about it because we all know these are real things and oftentimes to no one's fault of their own. But, it, I don't really think of myself as a salesman. I'm not sure we sell against bad quality, but it is a reality of the space. So a couple things on the front end as we go towards planting season. Let's use planting as that line of demarcation. So you have a bad batch. You get a call from a dealer and he or she opened the lid and he's like, this looks terrible. And so now it's like, hey, okay, what batch did that come out of? What lot number?
Mm-hmm.
You can literally go on the app and in a click of a button in a second, okay, that lot had 51 boxes. It got filled at this location, and here's where they all are today. Let's make some phone calls to have 10 of those audited, or do
And
we
see
need
what
to
they
pull them
want.
all back in?
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing that in real time, just based on a very quick slice and filter of the data. And otherwise right now it's where are they? Where'd they go? Somebody's pulling bill of ladings. I mean, it's, the likelihood of actually figuring out where that entire lot landed and where it exists as you're also trying to run your normal day-to-day business, difficult, maybe impossible. So there's that whole quality management before seed ever gets to the farmer. And then on the other side of it, particularly for corn, if there's a carryover opportunity, we will be able to tell if how long that box was exposed to both temperature and humidity threshold conditions. So we're working with some companies that provide like third party yield lab testing
Mm-hmm.
to drive, and this is a process. This isn't going to
Right.
happen
Right.
immediately, but we're basically trying to build out tools that say, okay, we have corollary. It's not a certainty, but it's a corollary tool that says if the temperature was at this level for this long, there's a high probability the quality's been compromised. So you will have that data for whatever quantity of boxes. We're trying to get the number to zero, right? We're trying
Right.
to get every seed that gets sent out to the world into the ground. But to the extent it doesn't and it's coming back and you're making a really important decision on, do I bring it in? Do I handle it? Do I test it? Do I put it in cold storage for 9 months? It's a lot of cost to do that.
Yeah.
And you might look at all the data and be like, this thing got cooked in August. It sat in somebody's shed at 121 degrees for 11 days. I mean, you lost it. I'm not saying, but you're saving yourself a myriad of handling and
Mm-hmm.
choke points in terms of cost. So that's the other side of it as well, is assessing the quality of that seed once it's gone to the trade and you really lose chain of custody. Because as much as we want everyone to handle the seed appropriately, we know that's not going to happen.
Right.
Mm-mm.
So
So
those are
let
the
me,
two. I mean, that really, in the simplest of terms, those are the two sides of the quality metric that we think will be highly valuable.
so let's look. So looking at this a little bit more. So you've got 15,000 out this year in the early
Yep.
adopter class. Got 100,000 targeted for 26. So if I'm a seed company right now and see this at Asta Ipsa, hear it on Stalk Talk, and I say, this is really super cool. Matt, I got a bunch of boxes. How do I get this? How can I get it deployed in my fleet? And how what do I do?
Is this the part of the podcast where Kat puts my email and phone number up as a Chiron?
Yes.
I don't know that we've had.
Uh,
Well, yeah, we can post do that. We
I
can.
feel like it's like a bad infomercial. Is Tom Selleck going to pop out or something? I don't know what's going
No,
on.
but look, I mean, seriously,
I'm
is
kidding.
it
No,
just
no,
as
no. I'm
simple as
kidding.
calling and saying, "Hey, I'm
No, no,
really
no.
interested in this. Is there
Yeah.
enough to do it?"
I mean, I hate to oversimplify it, but right. So a little bit of it I would say is timing. As I mentioned at the very top of the discussion, there is a functional physical aspect of taking the existing or the old
Right.
gate out and putting this technology enabled gate in. Now
Mhm.
that's not hard to do, and what we tend to do and what we've done in the past is we do that during that service window, right?
Right.
You're already standing in front of the box and you've got to inspect it and wash it. Whether it's you at your plant at Joe Mershman's shop, right? He's got guys doing that every summer, or whether it's at our one of our service facilities, or whether it's at another third party service facility. Somewhere somebody is looking at that box between June and September and saying, okay, yeah, we washed it, we fixed it. During that window of time is the most ideal and certainly the most like operationally optimal time to pull that old gate and put the new one in. So it's not so much our availability, it's more about sequencing of timing. So if you're listening to this and you're like, man, that is something we should try that for crop season 26-27, and maybe you own those 1,000 boxes and you're
Mhm.
like, you know what, we want to put it on 200 of them and just put our highest value or maybe our highest demand product in those 200 boxes. Great, let's have that conversation. But we need to have that conversation in by between now and March.
Mhm.
Right.
If that call
Harvest.
comes in June, the boat's kind of off the dock because you're already into that service season. And so now because otherwise now you're interrupting harvest and you're interrupting bagging. So the work of getting the boxes enabled really ideally happens, right as soon as service season starts, which we sort of consider to be like June 1st
Mhm.
Right.
and then runs into the fall. So
So quantifying that, I mean, honest to gosh, so I'm actually thinking a year late. What we're doing right now is teeing up what we've got for the 26-27 year, which will starting in June. So
it
I mean,
really starts in June, right? The harvest won't happen till the fall, and nothing will
right,
happen with the high value of that data until the spring of 27.
Right.
right.
But if you don't get that box enabled during the summer of 26, you've kind of missed that window. So
Well,
we've got line of sight on these 100,000, and those are in large part most of the customers that have already engaged with us on these first 15,000, and they're telegraphing a substantial expansion of the platform. There's a few other companies. So the other thing we do is there's actually a way a client can get this technology for free. How,
oh
you
yeah,
say?
But
tell me more.
yeah.
What? Tell me more. Go on. This is my best Ron Popeil. That's an old reference. Kat, you're too young. Trust me. Ron Popeil's an infomercial machine. Look it up. Look
He
it
is
up.
an infomercial
What
machine.
is the infomercial guy where that is it Bobby? What is his name?
Oh, the guy with the beard. Speaking of beards, that guy, the guy that does
Yeah.
he sprays the bottom
ShamWow.
of the boat.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
Oh, ShamWow guy. Yeah,
Well,
what is his
ShamWow
name?
and the Flex stuff that I actually use all the time.
wait a
Flex
minute.
Seal. Flex
Yeah.
Seal.
Flex Steel. That stuff really
It
works. That's
really
good
It
does.
stuff.
actually does really work.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd get in the boat, the mesh bottom boat, but I
I
think
don't
he's
think I,
still
I,
kind
don't,
of
I
a
don't think I would either.
genius.
I would trust it.
Hey,
That was awesome.
I've sprayed it on the
You
roof
guys,
around.
I got to tell you, I think I just checked a bucket list off my life's like events, like just
Yeah.
channeling my inner like Ron Popeil. I'm done.
What's this
I'm
guy's
good.
name?
You're
I want to
done.
look that.
Yeah,
But
you need to find that name.
you can retire now.
So one of the things we offer, we're putting this and making this standard fare on our rental platform. So I'm not trying to get too far afoul, but we own and manage a substantial amount of boxes now. And when I say manage, we own them. And then if you call and say, I need 100 boxes, you can rent them for the season and then get them back to us when you're done. This technology is coming as a part of our standard
Got it.
rental offering in the year or two ahead. So one of the things we offer, and this is how a lot of our rental fleet has grown over the years, is customers realize I don't want to own these. They're financially heavy on my balance sheet.
It's capital.
They're literally heavy on my guys every summer. I can't find anybody who wants to really wash and repair these things every summer because, not to wax nostalgically, but the high school kids aren't interested in that work anymore. Um, Options I did not have as a kid growing up in Moline, Illinois. I did what I was told, but I digress. So the
No.
point
We
is,
should spend a moment on that because that I can wax philosophically on the state of affair of our youth today, with the exception of Catherine's youngest son, Asher, who has decided that he wants to be in the ag space
Mm-hmm.
and have her job.
Yeah.
well, I know, and I got to be careful not to paint with a broad brush because we just hired a couple of young people this last year into our organization right out of school 22, and they're unbelievable. Just the work ethic's unbelievable, off the charts, and the
It's still
level of
out there.
savviness, not where I was at 22. But so I'm kind of teasing. But the point is, we'll go in and we'll buy those boxes up. So you get a cash infusion. We'll buy them from you. And then we affix the technology. And when you rent them back for the season, Now of course, you're getting the box you need, but now you're also getting the technology included. So we have a number of companies that are, and so when I say it's free, it's included in that entire transaction that we basically dub. It's a sales leaseback, right?
Right.
And now
Right.
you're not, now you're, and so there's a bunch of value. Yes, you get the Box IQ technology inclusive, but you also get away from all the things that people frankly don't like about boxes. They don't have to deal with them. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to order spare parts for them every summer. That's all included as part of that rental basket year over year. So you're just kind of out of the business of managing packaging and you're back in the business of producing and selling seed. So that's something we're doing as well. It's just another we feel like high value way. All we're trying to do, and we're not really trying to sell stuff. We're just like, look, it is a battle. It is a battle out there for everybody to sell seed, to farm. How do we give good options? That is all I really think about most days is how can we continue to develop good options to drive efficiency, to make the ag seed space just a little more efficient. And I mean, we're just worrying about our little sliver of what we recognize as a huge pie, but that's kind of our motivator, right? That's what gets us out of bed, and it's fun. I mean, and I think it's a cool industry, and when you can deliver on some real savings, people are responsive. So yeah, it's going to be a cool year. We're excited.
I got
Also,
to
it's
take
Billy
that.
Mays.
What's his name?
Billy Mays.
Yes. Oh, it's the guy with like the heavy black beard, right? Yeah, man,
Hey,
that guy.
he dyes that thing. There's no way it's that heavy and black.
That's fine. I
Yeah.
think I might reach out to him and see if he can do a stand-in for me next year.
Thought he
And
was.
he could pop
Thought he
in.
was deceased.
Negative. We will cancel.
No,
All right.
not a stand-in. Like he could do a pop-in at the end, like a
That'd be
cameo.
good. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, well, he's dead. So
Oh, that's gonna make it. Not with AI, he's not.
That'd be hard.
Not with AI. This guy is coming
not
back.
with AI.
He'll be sitting here next to me next year. He'll be like, "What is happening?"
Dude, who is the guy? What is his freaking name? The guy from Full Metal Jacket that was the Army staff sergeant. That
Yeah.
Freaking cool. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yes, and that's such a good movie.
Because he's dead.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
But AI has brought him back everywhere.
I know. It's wild. You can't hardly just, it's getting to the point where you can't hardly differentiate.
Okay. I got to take a pass down on a little bit different subject, which is Matt Dannenfeldt. And dude, you're talking about the box servicing and stuff. And look, part of this storyline is how you came into the industry and the innovations that you have brought as you've come along through Seedbox Solution. This now being the newest one, which is a cool story because you really started out. You talk a lot about, we're getting people out of the having to manage all these packaging and everything, and you started out washing boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really where all this started, is washing boxes. And, then it grew into a newer, innovative box with some differentiation. And now it's grown into this. And I mean, Matt, you're quite an innovator when it comes down to this. And I mean, I think that is some really cool stuff. You've had a very cool journey just over the last, 7-8 years? I mean, it's
10 years, 10 years this year. We celebrate a little 10-year anniversary, but well, first of all, that's very kind of you and makes me a little blush, but appreciate it sincerely. And it's been fun. You don't get into these things with any expectation. At least I didn't. I just wanted to work on some stuff that I thought was interesting and cool. But you're right. This would be the part. My wife's a former TV producer. This would be the part where, like, the photos pop up of me with the hard hat out in Phillips, Nebraska, washing boxes back in 2014.
You want to send them to me? I'll make sure that happens.
That was not what I meant. But yeah,
I'll make them if you don't send them. So.
I'll send them.
Hey,
it's real.
Bring her in. We can produce this whole thing. I'll do the voiceovers because that's all I can contribute besides comic relief.
A bunch of things I'll comment about that. First of all, thank you. Second of all, it takes a team. It starts with the one I just mentioned. My wife, I was ready to go back and I had started another company and sold my modest stake in that back in 2012. And I was ready to, we were in a good financial position. We were ready to, pay down our liabilities. We had three kids, in elementary school up to high school. Um, and no complaints. And I told her, listen, I think that money that I took out of that sale, I think I could go build this mobile washer, this custom mobile washer, and put it on a trailer and drive around the Midwest and wash seed boxes. But it's going to basically deplete all the money that I took out of that sale. And I said, I think it might be a little too crazy. I think maybe I'll just go get a job and we'll keep moving. And she said, are you nuts? You go build that thing. Go figure it out. And we did. And it was not easy, of course, like any journey. It's got a lot of ups and downs. But it started with her, and then of course just an array of good timing and good people. And people, honestly, the biggest thing, and I'm not just saying this, I swear to God, people that would willing to give you a chance,
Mhm.
because that fundamentally doesn't always happen. And we had clients, um, people that I'm still very good friends with, who, I show up at their door in 2014 with a sketch of, like, this is what the machine will look like, I promise. And they're like, okay, if you build it, we'll sign up and let you try it. And that's all it took. But it's, a lot of those people could have laughed you out of their office, understandably so, when you look back at what it was, right? So, yeah, it's been a really fun ride, and super thrilled with what we've been able to do. And I tell you what, I'll tell all the people, we are now up to a whopping about 100 full-time employees across. We still wash a lot of boxes. We have two big service facilities. We have a mobile washing team now, like 4 machines that go out in the trade every summer and fall. And then, of course, all the other fun things we're talking about with rental and technology. And that's all great. But you've got 100 people. It's a crazy world. It's just crazy.
That's
And
awesome.
it's not about where your politics are. I just look at it as this unbelievable opportunity to literally positively impact the lives of 100 people. It's not 1,000. It's not 1,000,000. Certainly not 390 million that are in this country, but it's 100 people who I have the chance to do something to make sure they're being taken care of, considered, valued, given good health care, et cetera, to all the tangible and intangible things that, you just want to feel like you're leaving it better than you found it. And we're trying. We're certainly trying.
Well, I got to tell you, I understand that 100%. I kind of got in, expanded in the restaurant business in 2020 because of the, same type of deal. But I think that the thing that really has impressed me, and I see a lot of people start different ideas and everything. And then one thing that infects everybody, it seems like, is huge amount of scope creep. In other words, here's what we want to do. And the next thing we're trying to do all of this, and
Yeah.
it's crashing them down. Great respect for the fact that you started out with this vision really about, you know, servicing and maintaining this box area, and then expanded slightly in more into packaging, and everything that you've done along that line has been within that real scope, and you stayed so focused. And I think that focus in innovators is something that is critical to success. And to me, looking at, we started out with these mobile washers because I remember those conversations, and then moving in, and of course, we had our own head bumping around boxes initially, and then where you've come into, and the added value and the rental programs and the expansion and innovative ideas that you have brought to that have just created huge value for the seed companies. It's impressive to me, and it's fun to watch that kind of success come on. So,
I
congratulations
appreciate that.
on 10 years. I mean,
Thank you.
it does take
Yeah, it's been really fun, and I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And you guys have been awesome all along the way. And you're right. I think, it's interesting. Everyone will ask me all the time. I mean, if this isn't the first question, it's the third. Who do you compete with? And I tell people all the time, I don't view anybody in our space as competitors. So there's another company that makes boxes. How do we collaborate? How do we make your package a fix with this technology so the guys buying your technology or your box are also getting these supply chain? There's just so many win-wins. I think the world is so caught up in zero sum that if I win, it must mean someone's got to lose. I just have never subscribed to that. I don't think it has to be that way. So we're always looking for ways to, what is it? High tides lift all boats, right? So I think those are opportunities, and those are it's what makes it fun. It's not stressful at all. I mean, I love what we're doing, and I think that's a big part of it. You don't feel like you're losing. You're just working on what's the next way to make the industry better, right? So
I think that is, we're going to end on that note because that is a super cool thing. It's not about winning or losing. It's just a way to make the industry better.
Yeah.
it
Matt,
is.
got to tell you, thank you for being here today. And I do want to make this a thing. We're going to just plan on it at the end of 26.
Oh,
I might even appear.
I have some
I might
add there. Okay.
Yeah, please.
Are you ready for this? Okay. Last 2 years, this year, last year, we had Matt as our last podcast guy, right? Person. Last year, we had the biggest IPSA annual conference that we've ever had. This year, we have beat those numbers. So yes, this coming year will be the biggest IPSA annual conference we've ever had as far as attendees go. So I don't know if this is some sort of good luck charm, Matt.
It's omen. You're our good luck charm, Matt.
Not definitely not cause and effect, but maybe a correlation there. Definitely not cause and effect. No, in fact, I think depending on when you publish this, your numbers could drop. So maybe publish it after January 12th. That's an idea. I think next year, if you guys will have me and you haven't thrown me out, I'll maybe we'll do a little more Christmassy attire. We can mix it up, right?
Okay.
But yes, I love it.
Every year.
I can see that's it. The gauntlet's thrown. We're doing this next year. Christmas attire. Santa Claus will be on.
I like it.
Yeah. Sounds great. I mean, you guys, honestly, I know the podcast is super fun, but it's been such a really great year, I think, between your organization and ours. And I know, obviously, Joni and others have had a huge part of that. And I just want to thank you guys for Kat, I know you did a lot of that lift with her. And again, those are those win-wins. I mean, it's not just bullshit. Like, we really think those things can exist, and we're looking for them all the time. So, here's to a really fun 26, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for bringing that forward. Thank you for the partnership, with IPSA. It has been tremendous in 2025, and we really appreciate that.
No, exactly. So maybe my presence on the podcast isn't helping the numbers, but Joni's efforts might be. So in fairness,
that's fair.
I think it
sounds about right.
I think it's all of our presence on the podcast and that,
Yes.
Well, listen, I'll tell you when we can really, if there's ever a coup, is if Todd ever invites John on the podcast, then we're really in. Then we've really turned a corner. I mean, we'll talk about that later.
Well,
talk about Christmas spirit.
We might even invite John for a guest cameo next year.
It's John or Ron Popeil's ghost.
Oh, that'll be it. We'll just have him as the guest cameo. All right.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Guys,
thanks you very much. Merry Christmas. We look forward
to Christmas to you guys.
Catherine, you got to do the thing.
I know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our podcast to bring in more listeners. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.